Welcome back. We're going to do a learning video today to look at lookup functions versus if functions. And quite honestly, we're also going to look at some advanced or really percentage change evaluation. So let's take a look at this and we're going to go into it now. So I have a couple files here. This is solved. So we're going to try to create this financial statement. And we're going to start with this financial statement here, which just has a lower section. Looks similar to some other things, but it's very different. What happens is we have a lower section, we're doing channels. So we have extreme survival supplies, your lifetime store, and they have a lot of different channels. They sell things like TikTok, Facebook. They're opening up, look, you can see there was 25 channels this year. And they have these offices, region 1, region 2, region 3. And everything in yellow you need to work on. So we need to do this bottom section, then we need to put summary information on this top section. So to do this bottom section, we're going to calculate these fields using these column headers, these instructions, derive performance, banding, and there's a banding table up here. So let's start with coming in and putting the equal sums. Well, that's not so bad. I'm going to copy down as we go. That's good. Then it's going to be performance banding. I'm going to do this a couple different ways. I already kind of wrote some to make the video shorter. I'll park on it and then you can go from there. So performance banding is basically whether this channel is in its initial stage. Well, it's an initial low stage like it just opened. Initial stage, still not just open, but been around, like say less than 12 months. Average stage, mature stage. They grow more by year by the different stages that the channels are in. Now, we need to figure out what staging this is. So let's just do a VLOOKUP equals VLOOKUP. And now the VLOOKUP, click on this value. We're going to do a lookup by revenue number, comma, scroll up to this table. This is the amount field. So this first column is the amount field. Second column is the channel stage, comma, 2, because the second column, comma, true, because we're doing a currency lookup, it won't be an exact match. It will be, if you look at the revenue here, 4.3 is less than this, so it's an average stage. And so that's it. So let's delete this second. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this one. Now, how do we get to revenue expectation? What we do to get revenue expectation is we go equals, because there's a finite thing. We know the revenue expectation is 0.25. 1.25 times 4.3 works and gives us that. So let's just try that. Let's put a control number here. Equals 1.25 times this equals that amount right there. Okay, so let's see if we can match it. So we go equal, VLOOKUP again, open parenthesis, comma, this range, comma, it's the second column, just like the first time we did it, comma, false. Let's see if where I messed up is okay to make mistakes. So it's D30, which is true. I looked at the wrong table. Let's do it one more time. It's a simple fix, actually. I'm looking up the word average and not the word total. We could edit this function or we could write it again. Well, why don't we try editing? I almost never edit the function. We're just going to say P30. And revenue expectation comes back as 0. You say, oh, that's not right. You put percent, you see it is right. So you have to watch your formatting. Go back to 0. Now, like I said before, we're going to copy this down. So let's put absolute references here. We can hit the function builder. See if it'll work. Does it work with my Mac? No. But you could, when we do it manually, if you can see how to do it manually. $T, $10. It will work without this. I'm going to do the other one with using it. $, U $13. And when I copy it down, well, it won't shift off the table. This, I'm going to try to anchor it right here using Command T. Yep, it worked just fine. Just the trick was to be able to see it. My TV's in, my monitor's in night mode. It's a little tricky to look at it. So here, I need to make sure it goes 1.25 times that number. So I go equals 1 plus, which equals 1.25. You'll see it, 1.25. Then all we have to simply say is, I'm going to put some parentheses around it to make sure I don't end up with an order operations problem. You know, math sequencing. Times previous number. Okay, I get it. And that's it. You see, these other things came over here. And while we're not solely focused on this, I want to compare them versus comparing them. So this one is the average statement. And this time I did an if on this average statement. And see, the if went if S13 equals, or sorry, if O30 equals S13 equal greater than sign, which is S13, the big one, it goes in reverse order. So you start large and you step down the ladder. So you go here and you step down. And if you notice, there's 1 if, 2 if, 3 if, because if always has two conditions. So it's got a true condition and a false condition. So if you put it on the true condition, it's usually the immediate answer. So basically right here you just write mature and it's done. And if not, do another if. But we had 4, so to get 4 you really need to put 3 nested ifs in here. And you can do it that way. Now revenue expectation, once we get that, I did the same thing. There's another if, there's another if. Let's see, count them right. There's 3 ifs here. 1 if, 2 if, 3 if. There's 3 ifs there. Now this time, on this side, I do the XLOOKUP. Click on it, function builder. And XLOOKUP is amazing and dynamic. So what it does is it says lookup value, same thing. What's the lookup array? What's this column? What's the return array? It's this column. Look at this, this is new. If it's not found, then what? NA. And it's kind of match mode. I can look up or down a table. If you don't know what match modes are, click help. Scroll down. And you can find the match modes right here in help. It's really important because they're it's interesting when you do that thing like that. Be careful of question marks like that. Those are like wild card characters. So be like careful. So that was really good. The revenue expectation, same thing we did over there. 1 plus the lookup value times 30. So that works. But this is where it gets profound. Watch this lookup table, the XLOOKUP. So it's got the X30, it's got the lookup array we saw before, the return array, the NA array we put in, match mode 1, I made it more of an exact match. Go back in there again and take a look. Exact match is unfound, return the next larger item, so it switched out the other way. And I just had it look up a word. But look what the return array is. The return array is the next column over. It's to the left, it's profound. This is amazing, because the VLOOKUP, we always have to start at the first column and go to the right. This time we can pick any column and go left or right. And I think, on the XLOOKUP you can go horizontal or you can do vertical. So there we go, is a good example on how to do that. So let's just copy these down. Like that. Copy these down like this. And what I'm doing, if you notice, I'm just actually double clicking this little dot here on the right, or drag it down. And you see 100, 100, 100, they all return the same value. We could probably format this now that we're here. Grab the paintbrush, format. Actually, for the sake of this, I'll put this on the right. My other right. And then I'll paint each section one by one. Why not? because we're kind of done with this section anyway. I'll even paint this whole section. I thought it would do that, but I was cutting the shortcut as you saw, so it kind of worked, kind of didn't work. Alright, so this is good. I'll paint this top part. This one you just paint all the way across, and voila. So this bottom section is kind of done. Not print ranges aren't set, but it's mostly done. It has a total underneath, and we go like that. Now we're going to start at the top. So now that we've done the bottom section, let's go equals. We already calculated the sum, so let's go sum for 2024 is 2024. Is right here. And then proforma, well, that's going to be equal to the same. We already have that here. That's 2025. We can mostly stay in this section, so let's zoom it in a little bit in this section. Now here I'm going to use the previous year percent, but increase it by another factor, or decrease it. So I'm going to use very straight formulas. I know there's other formulas, but I want to be consistent in my formulas, only because it's just easier. So divide by that, we come back to 0. Let's just see what that is. Oh look, it's 27% of that previous total. So we're going to take that times this value here. Hit checkbox. That's pretty good. We convert it back to comma 0. And then this is going to be times. I'm going to see if this works. It's going to be times open parenthesis 1 should actually work plus this number. Yep, it does, because times divide by times by times by. So it actually does work without having additional parentheses. Usually they wrap parentheses around things I want to make sure. So it's like that. Then I'll wrap the second parenthesis before the times. Just make sure certain parts of the calculation don't multiply against other parts. It didn't matter this time because of order of operations. I do want to copy it down. As you see, the next one's the same. You click on them, you can read the whole expression. Make sure you look at the whole expression, what they're asking you to do. And $6, $6, and copy that down. That wasn't so bad. Net profit loss, in this case it's straightforward. It's this minus this minus this. I'll copy it to the right. And we can see they're making more money each time. Net change, let's just keep it simple, use the basic finance function, is this minus the previous period. But you notice when we copy it to the right, it gives you a really big number here. It's because there's nothing in the previous period. So we really don't want that. And there's many ways of trapping it, but I want to try to keep it where I have just one formula for everything. Equals if, open parenthesis, that previous period, equal blank. Blank is in two quotations. If it does equal blank, I want this blank. Oh, actually, not going to blank out. I'm going to type in NA, put that in quotes. Otherwise, do this equation, and then close out the if statement with a parenthesis. So then when I copy it to the right, it goes net change. We can justify it to the right, and we have it. Now, I could copy here, but if you see what happens when I copy here, it errors. It doesn't give me what I want. So what I do is I come up top, I'm going to copy to the clipboard, and then I'm going to hit the X, not to mess up the formula, come down here. If the beauty part about this, if you do it right, and you think about this percent change, all I have to do is divide E9, divide that equation by E9, and it gives me the percent change, and it goes to 0, but you know it's not represented properly. We'll do percent in 2. And then we just copy it over. Okay, now we're going to do this one, grow the same percentage of previous year. We know how to do a net change percent, so let's do that net change percent for this. But we have to grow it. Interesting. Equals, open parenthesis, that minus the previous year for consistency, close parenthesis, divided by the previous year. That's pretty good. Now let's just take it in and see what we have. Percent. So A little bit bigger. Yeah, that's right. So we just got to grow it by that number. So let's go ahead and say 1 plus. Now, I want to take this 1 plus times the previous year, so I just got to take expression. But watch what happens. I'm pretty sure that this will not work if I just go times the previous year. And I do, let's see, it gives us, see, it didn't grow it at all. That's because of the order of operations. But if we put a parenthesis around it, open and close parenthesis, on this side put a open paren, and now I have a bigger number, right? Because they're growing. Basically, they have 25 more stores, or they have 5 more stores. Now this one is per sales channel. How much are they making per channel? This is a weighted average. So we just divide the top divided by the number of stores. We'll anchor the bottom store one because we're going to copy down. And just dividing everything on top by that number. Oh, I didn't put it on the right row. Maybe we just do it this way. So it equals, it's too early in the morning, divided by this number. I missed it. I was a little bit off. $sign. Copy it down to here. You know the other one's a variance formula. And you saw what happened. I did division. You can't divide NA by anything. But then you come up here. We already did these nice change formulas, and you can see that on a per store basis or per channel basis, they actually lost some money. Items sold, we just use the same formula. So let's get rid of all this fill. Maybe we take, we just come over here, no fill. We'll take the category. We'll click the home tab. Make this heading 1. Make it a little bigger. Oh, it's fine. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. It's too early. Copy like that. Then I want to indent these. Well, it was already indented, but it would have been out like this. You can indent them like that. Here you can put a border under it, bottom border, and that to make it definitive, and it means you're done. Put a double border, double bottom border. That way you have it more accounting style. I guess you can also put the currency in, say, euro or dollars. In this case, it's let's just use euros. Oh, let's do British pounds this time for fun. British pounds. We let's paint that to the other side. And do it here. And we'll do a British pound, so that's good. So I kind of got this, so we're going to copy all this. Not copy, I'm going to borrow the formatting from it and paste it over category down here for this section has it. So I have a nice little formatted sheet. Now I'll hit save just because my PC is acting strange. I'll stop pause for a second, but not really. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually highlight this area for printing. Actually, the whole area for printing. Then I'm going to scroll. My hands are off the keyboard. I'm just going to come back and scroll. I'm going to make it a little smaller if I can get this a little easier. And what I'm going to do is hold the control key. I'm going to grab this area. Hold the control key again, grab this. Oops, grab this area. I'm still holding control key. Grab this area. Page layout. Page setup, not page setup. I'm going to do set print area. Set print area, set the print area. Then when I go to page break analysis, let's take a look, guys. Every 3 months I want it. If you're missing one, just click the column and go insert page break by going over and go breaks, insert page breaks. And you can see on this analysis we got all the way over here, and these are the pages. And a couple other things we did that are probably worth noting on this page break analysis. In print setup, just the way I'm doing it, you can play with this for a lot. I just want to get rid of all the red, those were footnotes that guide us. If you go page setup, I click the page setup, I go to page, I go left to right, I go portrait, normal size, then I go margins, I'm going to set horizontal and vertical, header footer, custom footer, I'm going to write an awesome proforma, and then the footer shows up here, and then I'm going to go to sheet, rows repeat at top, I'm going to repeat the first 2 rows because it's the company title, columns repeat left is going to be column A. I'm going to say OK. We have that, you've seen that. I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to say that was a good example. So like I said, I showed you all those other things, the formulas. You can park on them so you can see what it is. You can pause. You can pause. You can pause just to see how those XLOOKUPs work. And you get to those the same way we do anything else. Just say hypothetically you would come over here, XLOOKUP, and you would type in XLOOKUP. Well, the function builder would come up. You look up your lookup value. Remember we had done it, say the word average. The lookup array was this with the word averages. The return array, whatever you want to return. So let's say, for example, you wanted to bring this in. Go to the left. If not found, you don't have to actually write that. Match mode, let's put a 1 for purposes. And just reduce. And you end up with the XLOOKUP. So that you'll still have to anchor it though, because you copy it down, but that's how you do an XLOOKUP. So I just wanted to show you how that might work. I'll come over here, click on cell A1, that way when the file opens, it will be on cell A1, hit save, and we are done. I hope you enjoyed this short learning video, an opportunity to do another simulation. I'll put this file on the Wiki Lab if you need to, or post it online.